In the 8-year series between the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Redskins, only one thing has remained certain. Each game has been more unpredictable than the preceding one. Look at the facts. No team has ever swept a series. Neither team has won at home since 1965. Only 14 points have separated the two in their last 4 contests. At the start of today's game in D.C. Stadium, this unusual record seemed as though it would remain intact. The front-running Cowboys began by moving the ball right through a suspect Redskin defense. Then a pass from Don Meredith to Lance Rensel had touchdown, or at least long gain, written all over it. But wait, this is the Redskin Cowboy series, and what usually happens, happened again. Let's take a look at this defensive trickery from another angle. What transpired on this play is typical of what goes on in every Redskin Cowboy game. And today, this tradition would be upheld. I'm Jack Whitaker, and this is the NFL Game of the Week. After the Dallas fumble and Redskin recovery, another weird thing happened. Quarterback Sonny Jurgensen decided to run with the ball. On the last play, our isolated camera recorded a perfect defensive play by linebacker Chuck Howley, who made the tackle on Jurgensen. Sonny had taken his iron corset off for this game, and it became obvious that the contraption had definitely affected him in the past few weeks. Today, he was throwing with much greater ease, much greater accuracy. He was also calling a more diversified game, mixing passes to his setbacks and to his ends. Tight end Pat Richter, number 88, caught this one, but was detected touching the ground at the Cowboy 49, a kneecap away from a touchdown. On a third down play, Sonny lofted a beautiful spiral to Charlie Taylor, who had beaten his man, but was out of bounds, and the Redskins' first series was stopped. Dallas has a knack of turning a punt into a dangerous call. Why? Because Bob Hayes and Lance Rensel are two of the best in the business. But today they would be completely stifled due to the height of Mike Bragg's punts and good coverage by the bomb squad. The Cowboys then pounded out a drive which was highlighted by 7 straight runs, good for 60 yards. This kind of game plan isn't even seen in high school anymore, but the Redskin defensive line, particularly its left side, has been more than porous, and the Cowboys took quick advantage of it. Number 43, Don Perkins, and number 46, Craig Bainham, were doing the running for Dallas, but a McCormick Reaper could have made it through some of the holes the Cowboys opened for them. It was time for a pass, so Meredith calmly fired a bomb downfield aimed for number 22, Robert Lee Hayes. The result, 6 points. On the replay, Meredith smartly faked what would have been the 8th straight run and hit Hayes on the run for the touchdown and a 7-0 lead. The Redskins' rushing attack was typically absent, but an Ivy Leaguer, number 24, Pete Larson, managed one good trip before fittingly receiving a belt in the back from 2 Cowboy tacklers. Today, Jurgensen would stick with his meal ticket, the forward pass. On second down, he went for the bomb to Taylor. And number 42 made a gallant but unfruitful attempt to hang on. Mixing bombs with bullets, Jergy then tried a short flip to his other setback, rookie Bob Brunet, number 26. And Brunet twisted his way for 25 yards into Cowboy territory. The drive came to a halt on a third down play from the 44. While Jurgensen was being trapped and spun around like a top, he flipped the ball behind his back, harmlessly ending the threat and the quarter, with Dallas ahead 7-0. The Cowboys opened the second quarter with no change of strategy. Run, run, run. See us run. Try to stop us from running. When they did stop Perkins and Bainham, which was rare, Meredith hit Rensel on short patterns. For the half, Perkins had 47 yards, and Bainham, Dan Reeves' able substitute, had 58. However, the Skins were able to make some key third down stops in the first half, the only thing that kept the score close. And Mike Clark had to kick a 45-yard field goal to culminate this drive for Dallas. Number 74, the Cowboys' Bob Lilly, personally took care of the next Redskins series. After stopping a run, Lilly, the right tackle, then got to Jurgensen on third down, and Dallas took over. But Washington held and was given good field position for their next series when number 34, Jim Yazoo Smith, danced his way to the 40 on a Ron Whidbey punt. Smith, the Redskins' right safety, was their first draft choice this year and is living up to his high billing. Jurgensen now put his Winchester arm into action. He fired a pass to Taylor, who survived a shot by number 34, Cornell Green, for a first down. .200-pound Bob Brunet provided a pause in the aerial show with a nifty 11-yard gain around right end. Then Jergy finally hit the bullseye. After slipping on the muddy turf, he spotted his old favorite, Charlie Taylor. And Taylor, who this season has been having trouble holding on to the ball, just did hang on to this one for his first touchdown in a long time. Charlie made sure he would not lose this ball. He carried it back to the bench with him. For all its yardage, Dallas had a mere 3-point lead with about 3 minutes left in the half. Meredith wanted a quick score before halftime, and he abandoned his success on the ground to get it. Watch Bob Hayes on one of his favorite patterns as he got another first down. Meredith rolled up 140 yards passing in the first half, many of them on throws to his setbacks. He just missed a score on an overthrown pass to Rensel, almost intercepted by Washington. Then on third down from the 30, He again overthrew his target. Even Hayes couldn't get to his pass. Hayes is worth watching, even when he doesn't catch the ball. And that's all a defender can really do, watch. No one can stay with him. Mike Clark's second field goal made it 13-7 with 38 seconds left. Jurgensen needed only 30 of them to get the Redskins on the board again. A screen to Brunet, a rookie from Louisiana Tech, picked up 7. Jurgensen then rifled a pass to his tight end Richter, who slipped between defenders and got a good block by Bobby Mitchell, number 49, and a 40-yard gain resulted. An isolated view of the play showed that number 54, linebacker Chuck Howley, was unable to stay with Richter, who is regaining some of his Wisconsin glory and is becoming one of the best tight ends in football. With only 7 seconds left, the Redskins had to settle for a field goal. And their other Ivy Leaguer, the soccer-style kicker from Princeton, Charlie Gogolak, put it up from 37 yards out. The kick was good, and little Charlie bounced happily off the field. More importantly, he and the Redskins had bounced back once again and trailed only by 13-10 at halftime. Adhering to their tradition of performing far better against the Cowboys than other teams, Washington opened the half by displaying what is for them an uncommon weapon, a running attack. Setbacks Larson and Brunet each ran for 7 yards on consecutive plays. The key block on that last play was sprung on number 34, cornerback Cornell Green, by number 74, right tackle Jim Snowden. And Larson, a second-year man from Cornell, used it to good advantage. Then quarterback Jurgensen returned to his favorite armament, the bomb, to his favorite receiver, Charlie Taylor, who couldn't quite shake a persistent Mike Gector. With the ball now on the Dallas 11, Jurgensen just missed Jerry Smith, who had a step on his man in the end zone. But on the next play, hit Taylor under the post for the score. A look at that scoring play from the end zone camera shows Taylor again had Gector to contend with before lunging over the goal line. In this one game, Taylor now had scored twice as many touchdowns as he had the previous 9 games. Washington had gone ahead, 17-13. When your quarterback's name is Meredith, it doesn't take long to move the length of the field. A strike to fullback Perkins netted 15. A swing pass to the other setback, Bainham, doubled the yardage. A look at that last play from the end zone corner shows Bainham had his own cheerleaders urging him on as he juked away from Pat Fisher for the 30-yard sideline run. Meredith gave yet a third running back the chance to catch the ball as Les Shy took one over the middle for the 3rd successive first down of the drive. But on a 3rd down play, little Pat Fisher made a fingernail save of a Rensel-intended pass to avert a touchdown. Dallas accepted Mike Clark's 3rd three-pointer of the game. Despite the Dallas aerial display, the Redskins still were ahead 17-16. How does a 1-point lead suddenly dissolve into a 27-point deficit? Observe. It began with the kickoff 8 minutes and 19 seconds into the third quarter. Veteran Bobby Mitchell received the ball, headed for his blocking wedge, and was interrupted by number 21, Dick Daniels, who popped the ball to teammate Mike Johnson, and Dallas had possession on the Washington 20-yard line. This one play turned it all around, for it was an entirely different ball game after the fumble. It took Don Meredith only 2 plays to capitalize on his opponent's mistake. A draw to Perkins for 6 yards, and a play-action pass to Rensel for the remaining distance. The isolated camera shows Rensel head-faked his defender, Ricky Harris, and that was enough to give him a step in the score. Dallas 23, Washington 17. After forcing Washington to punt, Meredith began where he left off, devastating the Washington defense. A pitch out to Bainham with an escort by number 76, John Nyland, resulted in a 16-yard gain. But a football can be thrown faster than a man can run, and Dallas went with that undefensible play, the properly thrown forward pass, to move swiftly downfield. Walt Garrison took a screen for 14 yards, and Meredith got another first down from Bainham. Then he remembered a fellow by the name of Bob Hayes over the middle for a 15-yard catch and a tackle by Pat Fisher. The isolated camera gives evidence of what Hayes' speed can do, even when he doesn't have to use it. Fisher must cover him loosely and had no play on the ball. Then Meredith gave Hayes a chance to use his legs. The stadium lights were on as he came back to him with the big one, and it clicked. The ball was now on the Washington 22. On the next play, the Redskins proved they too knew how to use their legs as linebacker Chris Hanberger found a way to stop the run. Meredith returned to the short, quick pitches to his backs, but this one to Bainham was his last of the day. The brilliant but brittle quarterback suffered a knee injury when a 255-pound object named Joe Rutkins fell on it and sent him to the sidelines, at least for the day. What separates the Dallas Cowboys from other teams is their tremendous depth. Like the champion Packers once had, they seem to have almost as much talent on the bench as on the field. The loss of a talented runner such as Dan Reeves would be costly to most teams, but replacements like Craig Bainham and Les Shy have excelled this season. Likewise, not many teams can replace a Don Meredith with a quarterback as capable as number 14, Craig Morton, a former All-American from California who would be a starting quarterback for many other teams. Each time Morton has taken over for the oft-injured Meredith, he has come through, and today would be no exception. On this play, Morton wasted no time in proving there would be no let-up. Rensel's touchdown made it 30-17 as the quarter ended. Washington began the fourth quarter with a solitary display of offense when Pete Larson took a Jurgensen dump pass and cut across field before being run down by Dick Daniels. The top camera shows that the Dallas defense had trouble with their footing and couldn't change direction on Larson's across-the-grain romp. Then Brunet was tripped up for a yard loss by Cornell Green. The isolated camera and Green, one of the fine cornerbacks in the game, gave us a lesson on how to play a run as he burrowed under his blocker to snare his victim. A play such as this is difficult and painful. The Dallas defense continued to assert itself as linebacker Chuck Howley defensed a third down possession pass. After receiving a short punt, the Dallas onslaught continued. This time the Cowboys needed only 3 plays, all on the ground, to move in for the score. Craig Bainham snaked around right end for 15 yards. Then Don Perkins took over. He carried through the middle for another 15-yard addition. Perkins is one of the smallest fullbacks in the league and probably the most underrated in the game. His forte is quickly hitting the hole before it closes, as this view from the end zone proves. Despite his size, Perkins runs almost exclusively inside, and each year withstands the jolting and jarring to rank among top rushers in the league. This 28-yard touchdown run topped off a 103-yard performance in the game and moved Perkins past Steve Van Buren into 5th place on the all-time rushing list. Since Washington's last touchdown, the Cowboys had scored each of the 4 times they had the ball. This brought their margin to 20 points, and the score to Dallas 37, Washington 17. But the nightmare had yet to end for the harassed Redskins. On the very next series, number 66, Giant George Andre, crashed into Jurgensen from the blind side. The resultant fumble was lugged 21 yards by rookie lineman Larry Cole for still another score. In a period of 13 minutes, the Cowboys had scored 28 points. No team could be so thoroughly conquered, but Washington did have one last gasp as Chris Hanburger picked off Morton's pass on the 30 and rumbled all the way in for the points that made the final result a 44-24 Dallas victory. The tradition of narrow decisions in games between these two teams didn't hold up today. Coach Tom Landry saw his team pile up 515 yards and maintain its Capital Division I game lead over the New York Giants.